You're watching TVC Breakfast. President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York for the 74th United Nations General Assembly. Now, the theme for this year is galvanizing multilateral efforts for poverty eradication, quality education, climate change and inclusion. On Monday, the UN Secretary General convened a climate summit where President Buhari announced robust plans and initiatives by his administration to reverse the negative effects of climate change in Nigeria. In his address titled, "A Race We Can Win, a Race We Must Win," President Buhari acknowledged that climate change is a human-induced problem. Now, he pledged Nigeria's support in the collective effort to reverse climate change, stating that his government will take concrete steps to harness climate innovative ideas by including youth in decision-making processes. He said Nigerian youth will be mobilized towards planting 25 million trees to enhance the country's carbon savings. Joining me now via Skype is the Deputy Director of Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Olufemi Akimbode. Olufemi, it's good to have you join me right now.
Good morning.
Morning. 25 million trees for youths in Nigeria to be planted is part of what the president says is going to be the commitment of government. How far would that go if we have to start from this?
Well, I think the first thing is about walking the talk. We've seen our leaders, and President Buhari is not an exception, going to global world stage to make pronouncements. There was even a time that it was much more easier for him to make pronouncements outside Nigeria than within Nigeria. Having done that, then the problem then will become, implementing that in Nigeria. I can tell you that what he has said is very possible. Number one, it is possible for us to have Nigerian youth plant 25 million trees, he said, and that would be a huge step towards tackling the climate change problem. One of the biggest issues we need to tackle in Nigeria is deforestation. There's supposed to be the green belt zone in the northern part of the country where trees are supposed to be planted. There was supposed to be initiative of cut one, plant four, or cut one, plant one. Now, what the government needs to do, which some other countries are beginning to do, is to integrate that tree planting initiative into the educational system by saying, look, you cannot graduate until you've planted like 10 trees, 50 trees, 20 trees, or to make it as part of the NYC initiative where, UCOM members are asked to go plant 100 trees. So it's possible, and it will go a long way to show that Nigeria is ready to do something about the climate change problem.
All right, beyond the issue of tree planting, what other efforts can be taken? The president talked about the issue of dams, more dams and irrigation projects and all of that. Where can we start from? Because it seems like Nigeria is faced with a lot of challenges from all sides when it comes to the issue of the impact of climate change.
Now, let me tell you, you're absolutely correct. Personally, I'm actually not impressed with the president's pronouncement yesterday. We expect to see the president coming out on concrete terms about how Nigeria contributes to climate change and how Nigeria is going to address those problems. I was expecting to hear the president talk about how to tackle the issue of floods and the problems that we are currently facing. One of your reports shows that Delta State, as we have predicted on your program, is already flooded and inundated with water. I think the Nigerian government needs to be part of the solution, not thinking that there will be handouts. And part of the problems with the creating is the issue of gas flaring. He didn't say anything about ending gas flaring in the Niger Delta, for instance. He didn't say anything about the increased use of fossil fuel in our entire economy, which is one of the issues that the climate change summit is addressing. We could see the problem of vehicular emission in Lagos, for instance. I mean, what are governments doing in order to cut down on all those emissions around us? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anything about government trying to do more on renewable energy, clean energy.
Yeah, but he talked about the issue of Lake Chad, the shrinking of Lake Chad, and what needs to be done. Because he was talking about the efforts of Nigeria leading the other countries around there to champion a course to reactivate the Lake Chad.
Yeah, I mean, I see, we have had about 2 or 3 Lake Chad conferences. I'm not very sure that nothing is going on apart from the talk that we're having. Look, Lake Chad problem is a global problem, and Nigeria needs to take that to be the champion, to show the world that, look, truly Lake Chad shrinking is a climate change issue. It's a security issue because, the grazing lands are drying up. You cannot say you want to tackle the issue of terrorism without looking at how climate change is fueling poverty and migration in some parts of the world. And so Nigeria needs to take that very seriously to mobilize not just regional attention, but global attention to the issue of Lake Chad. And for us on this side, that's exactly what we think our president should do.
All right. Thank you very much, Olufemi Akimbode, for coming on the program. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks.
Right.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York for the 74th United Nations General Assembly. The theme for this year is galvanizing multilateral efforts for poverty eradication, quality education, climate action and inclusion. On Monday, the UN Secretary-General convened a climate summit where President Buhari announced robust plans and initiatives by his administration to reverse the negative effects of climate change in Nigeria. In his address titled, "A Race We Can Win, a Race We Must Win," President Buhari acknowledged that climate change is a human-induced problem. He pledged Nigeria's support in the collective effort to reverse climate change, stating that his government will take concrete steps to harness climate innovative ideas by including youth in decision-making processes. He said Nigerian youth will be mobilized towards planting 25 million trees to enhance the country's carbon sink. Joining me now via Skype is the Deputy Director, Environmental Rights Action, Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Olufemi Akimbode. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, let's begin this way. When you look at how we have fared in our climate action, are we on track to winning the race against climate change?
Well, to be frank, I think that the only thing to celebrate is the fact that the Nigerian government and President Buhari is not in denial of the problem of climate change. And the fact that we all have to collectively, do something, the government, the citizens, and all the stakeholders. However, I must say that sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward, or no steps at all. And so, having read that beautiful speech in New York, the expectation then is how the president will come down to Nigeria, come back home, and put those words into action.
Now, where would you want the president to begin? He has talked about involving youth in planting 25 million trees. Isn't that, some might think that is too ambitious?
Well, for a nation of 180 million people, I would think that 25 million trees is actually less ambitious. I think if we have to look at the figure, the president could have said something like 200 million trees. Let each one plant 10 trees or 4 trees that way. So, but I think that if the government truly will put this into action, putting in place the structures, the initiatives, and the environment that we encourage the youth to plant trees, because we cannot just make a declaration that the youth of today to go and plant trees. We've got to create that environment, that incentive. And when I'm talking about incentive, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about those things that make the youth of today to feel parts of our system, to feel part, education, poverty reduction, all those issues that can make our youth to be productive. When we put that into place, then we can make more demands on them in terms of their citizenship.
All right, Olufemi Akimbode, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.